ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وكان الله بكل شيء عليما إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة.
اللهم أوصل وبلغ ثمر ما قرأنا من القرآن بنيتي وبنيتنا إلى سيدنا وسندنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم ربنا أتم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم يسر لنا أمورنا مع قلوبنا وأبداننا والسلامة والعافية في ديننا ودنيانا. اللهم ثبتنا على الإيمان وأمتنا على الإيمان واحشرنا يوم القيامة مع الإيمان بحرمة النبي آخر الزمان إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि या रसूल अल्लाह वसल्लम अलैका या हबीब अल्लाह सबके प्रिय सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि या रसूल अल्लाह हबीब अल्लाह क्या बात मदीने की यारो क्या बात मदीने की क्या बात मदीने की कि सारी दुनिया खाती है मदीने की सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि या रसूल अल्लाह वसल्लम अलैका या हबीब अल्लाह जश्ने आमदे रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह जश्ने आमदे रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह बीबी आमिना के फूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह बीबी आमिना के फूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह अल्लाह ही अल्लाह कोई चेहरे की तारीफ कर, कोई जुल्फों की तारीफ करने लगा। आमीना देख कर मुस्कुराने लगी, हवा मरियम भी खुशियां मनाने लगी। आमीना बीबी सबसे ये कहने लगी, दुआ हो गई कबूल अल्लाह की अल्लाह, दुआ हो गई कबूल अल्लाह की अल्लाह, जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह की अल्लाह, बीबी आमिना के फूल अल्लाह की अल्लाह, अल्लाह की अल्लाह पढ़ो अल्लाह की अल्लाह, अल्लाह की अल्लाह बोलो अल्लाह की अल्लाह, जश्न आमद रसूल अल्लाह की अल्लाह।
الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه أولي الصدق والصفا. ما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه العظيم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى. وقال عز وجل في محكم كتابه العظيم في شأن حبيبه مخبرا وآمرا قولا كريما: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا وكريمنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. صلاة وسلاما عليك يا سيدي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا رحمة للعالمين. واجب الاحترام حضرات علماء الكرام, my respected elders, dear brothers, beloved children, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, and choicest blessings and salutations upon Nabi Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. It is the month of Rabi Awwal, and the discussions are pertaining to the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And I have singled out one particular aspect for discussion, inshallah, over the next 3 nights, inclusive of tonight, and that is the physical appearance of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A very easy topic to say, but indeed very, very difficult topic, because it is about the physique and the physical appearance of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and therefore it is a domain in which we need to tread rather very, very carefully, so that we don't overstep any mark or anything related to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his person, and then we attribute something wrongfully to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So therefore, like I said, it is a difficult topic, but we will endeavor, because ulama and muhaddiseen have written volumes about this. And if they have written so extensively about this, then if we ask ourselves that who are we, or maybe what are we, standing at a distance of almost 1500 years, and then to be able to say that this is how the physical appearance of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is. Yet, Sahaba Kiram Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in would see the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on a daily basis. Sometimes even beyond that, at least 5 times a day, some Sahaba that were fortunate, they were not on the outskirts of Medina, they would come to Masjid and they would offer their salah behind Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and they would have the grand opportunity to be present in his discussions, in his discourses, in the ahkamat and the orders that had been revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unto Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he would disseminate them. And then there were those that were even more fortunate. For example, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, whenever he would leave his own house for any of his own personal chores or for any aspect of Hajjatul Wida, that in excess of 120,000 Sahaba Kiram Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in had gathered around Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But when we look at those that describe Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as a description of the appearance of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they don't exceed in number, according to some historians, about 30, and the maximum number recorded is 36. So between 30 and 36 Sahaba Ikram had given descriptions of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. So indeed, as I mentioned, that it is a very difficult topic, we will understand this, but before we get to the topic itself, there are two words which are very important. And this is not an emotional discourse and to raise emotions in people, but it's more an educational discussion. So two words are very important, and they are derived from the same root word. One is khalq and the other one is khuluq. The meaning of khalq is ijad, invention or creation, and by this is meant the physical or outward appearance. Khulq is internal spiritual dimensions, disposition. So inward and internal is khulq. And the three-letter word that is there, like I said, their origin is the same. And if we have to further define the word khulq, it is sometimes or somewhat synonymous with the word other. And other, loosely translated, would give us in English the meaning that you and I will refer to as respect. But it combines the aspects of respect and etiquette together will give you the actual terminology or the term of other. So if we summarize these two words, then the word khalq and khulq that are derived from the same root word. Khalq is in creation and khulq is as in nature. The Holy Quran speaks about the khulq of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and it is clearly stated, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ, and indeed you are upon the most excellent of manners. Sheikh Al-Hafiz Abu Isa Muhammad Al-Tirmizi, compiler of Tirmizi Sharif, has written a separate volume as in Shama'il Sharif, and in Shama'il Sharif he has stated as to why he had looked at the physical appearance of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he says that he gives greater preference to the physical appearance of the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam because it is a precursor, a prelude, and introduction to the internal beauty of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And external beauty, as he says, is the prelude to that. Mullah Ali Qari states that altogether sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam are evident of the specialness and indeed the excellence of the beauty of the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. For we need to understand here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept veiling the actual beauty of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. The actual beauty of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam had been willfully kept away from by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from mankind, and it is stated according to some narrations that up to 70,000 veils protected the actual beauty of Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And Mullah al-Qari further states that the kuffar appeared to have looked at the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, but reality is that they were deprived of looking at the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Hazrat Ammar ibn al-As radiallahu ta'ala anhu was asked to describe the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he replied by saying that I don't have the capacity and the ability to describe the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sahaba kiram ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, they would sit in a gathering with the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and when they would emerge from there, they would ask from one another, did you see Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Because it was not in the eye of the human being, the common human being, that eye would be lifted to the eye level of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, or to fully view Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as in staring at someone or being encapsulated, the vision of someone encapsulated in your eyes. It was not a thing. Sayyidina Hassan ibn Sabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu, we've heard the name over and over again, and he was a chosen poet of the Darbar of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His linguistic abilities, his poetic skills had brought him to that level. The uniqueness of Hazrat Hassan bin Sabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu is that he lived up to the age of 120 years. And in the 120 years that he lived, 60 years of his life was pre-Islamic. And then he embraced Islam, and he spent the following 60 years as a Sahabi Rasul, as a mu'min, as a believer. And we should understand also that a poet, very little escapes the eye of a poet. And they describe beauty as in natural beauty, creation, whether it's a tree, whether it's a waterfall, whether how a waterfall cascades, or then perhaps they look closely, at a fellow human being, and they may begin to describe that person in their own way and in their own right. So, though he was a poet, and when he entered into the Darbar of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the poetry was now not about the lavishness and the style of the kuffar of Makkah, and how they spent their days, and how they would prepare for concerts and linguistic skills, for poetry, etc. He says, فَلَمَّا نَظَرْتُ إِلَىٰ أَنْوَارِهِ فَوَضَعْتُ كَفِّي عَلَىٰ عَيْنِي خَوْفًا مِنْ ذِهَابِ بَصَرِي. I feared to look at Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. For the fear in me was that I would lose the vision that Allah has given me in my eyes. I would be blinded if I had to look directly at Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he says, whenever I attempted to look at Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, I would create like louvers with my fingers, and through slight slits between them, I would try to peep at Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to be able to get a glimpse of the brightness of the face Mubarak of Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And very brave in describing, anything that they get attracted to. And Sayyidina Hassan ibn Sabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu himself said, وَأَحْسَنُ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَرَ قَطُّ عَيْنِي وَأَجْمَلُ مِنْكَ لَمْ تَلِدِ النِّسَاءُ خُلِقْتَ مُبَرَّأً مِنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ كَأَنَّكَ قَدْ خُلِقْتَ كَمَا تَشَاءُ. He says, my eyes has not seen any person more beautiful than you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that no woman has given birth to a person more beautiful than you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You have been created without any kind of weaknesses or blemishes. It is as if you have been created as though how you wish to have been created. The Sahaba were favored to say the poetical praises of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Shah Abdul Haq Muhaddis Dehli rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi writes about his father Shah Abdul Rahim and says that Shah Abdul Rahim Dehli rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi had a dream about the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And in his dream, he has a conversation with Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. We also need to understand here that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself has said, Man ra'ani fil manam faqad ra'al haq. He who has seen me in the dream has seen me in reality. And soon he will be able to see me again. So he says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, oh my master, you have mentioned that your beauty is saltish. And you also mentioned that your brother, meaning Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, was a bearer and possessor of sweet beauty. And he says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I have not been able to differentiate between the two types of beauty, saltish beauty and sweet beauty. So, he says that, again here we need to understand before we delve into this here, that this is a maqam of adab. And the adab is to such an extent that Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, or those who believe, addressing the believers specifically, لَا تَرْفَعُوا أَصْوَاتَكُمْ فَوْقَ صَوْتِ النَّبِيِّ. Don't raise your voices above the voice of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Commentators have said, even a hair's breadth, you should not raise. When the Sahaba heard this, they began to whisper. So they were then cautioned and they were said that it's not like that. But it is that you need to, it's a maqam of adab, it's a place of respect. So, Sayyidina Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, that at this point in time, if you take from her narrations, it is said that those who criticized Sayyida Zaliqa, but if those women had to see the actual beauty of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, bearing in mind that Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, whenever he came out amongst people, he covered his face. He would wear a veil over his face. Because that was the beauty that Allah had given to Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And then she says that if they just had to say Aisha Siddiqa says that in comparison, if the ladies of Egypt just had to see the forehead, the blessed forehead of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they would have forgotten everything else. Imam Ahl Sunnah, Imam Ishq wa Muhabbat, Imam Shah Ahmad Rida Fadil al-Barani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says, Husn Yusuf pe katir ism mein angusht zina, sar katate hain tere naam pe mardane aata. Husn Yusuf pe katir misr mein angusht zina, meaning that the ladies of Egypt cut their hands and by the beauty of Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam. But on sacrificed their heads as well. And we can relate to that as of recently we had the Mumtaz Qadri issue. Obviously, it was just not a rage that came across him, and this was discussed on several occasions with him, and then there were one-to-one discussions, between them until he took the final decision. And by his decision that he had taken, it was, a way that he took. On the contrary to this, we also know that those that came out and blasphemed the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they did the caricatures, meaning the cartoons of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or burnt the Holy Quran, which was revealed unto the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm talking of the recent past. We can relate with people like Charlie Hebdo and the likes of them, what happened to them, and how they met with their end. Sayyidah Zulaykha, we need to understand that she was the daughter of Malik Taymuz, and she was the wife of the minister of Egypt, or Aziz Misr. And she pleaded with Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam that come out, because this will set the record straight. And the actual reality is that people look at something and then it becomes the major aspect for them. They look at Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam that was thrown in the well. They looked at Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam that he was captured. And they looked at Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam that he was a slave that was sold in the streets of Egypt. But then they don't go beyond this to say that Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam sitting on the throne of kingship in Egypt as well. So the transformation from the well to the throne of Egypt. So when she pleaded with him, Quran says, وَقَالَ تَخْرُجَ عَلَيْهِمْ فَلَمَّا رَأَيْنَهُ أَكْبَرْنَهُ وَقَطَّعْنَ أَيْدِيَهُمْ وَقُلْنَا حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا هَذَا بَشَرًا إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا مَلَكٌ كَرِيمٌ. And they said to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, come forth, meaning she asked him to come forth. And when the women saw Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, they began to speak of his greatness, and they cut their hands and said, Only Allah, he is not from mankind. In hada illa malakun kareem, he is not but a noble angel. So it is not, or perhaps shall I say, it perhaps is the fault of the vision of mankind that we see Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam as a prisoner, or being thrown into the well, or etc. And such we have with some people as well that look at the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam going on trade missions for Sayyidah Khadija al-Kubra radiallahu ta'ala anha, or tending to the flock of sheep of Sayyidah Sa'adiyah Halima radiallahu ta'ala anha. And they looked at that, but they also needed to understand that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam traveled beyond time and space to the highest point of the Samawat al-Ula, and that is on the journey of Mi'raj. So, before we come into the description of the saltish and sweet beauty, Hazrat Abu Tufail radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Hazrat Abu Tufail radiallahu ta'ala anhu passed on from this dunya 110 years after the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And during the times of Hajj, he would say to the people and say that I am the only one here on surface earth. And Sa'id al-Juwayni says, قال سمعت أبا الطفيل يقول رأيت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وما بقي على وجه الأرض أحد رآه غيري. قلت صفه لي. قال كان أبيض مليحا مقسما. Hazrat Abu Tufail radiallahu ta'ala anhu, whose actual name is Amir bin Waqila. He is amongst those Sahaba that say that Imam Azam, Imam Abu Hanifa radiallahu ta'ala anhu had met with him. Sayyidina Imam Azam met with him, and these were amongst those Sahaba Kiram whom Imam Azam met, which gave him, as Imam Azam the status of tabi'in. So he would say to the people that I'm the only one now on surface earth that has seen Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So if you want to know about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then come to me and I will explain to you. I will tell you about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then when they asked, he said 3 words. Abyada, malihan, muqassada. The word abyada means white. This word abyad used in favor of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for the first time was by his grandfather, Hazrat Abdul Muttalib. In fact, parents, grandparents, they have a second or maybe even a third name, given name, and then they have a second name and a third name. And we find that happening, in certain parts of the world, it's tradition as well. So sometimes there's a pet name as well. So Hazrat Abdul Muttalib said that this is grandson. Obviously, we understand the relationship between grandparents and grandchildren. And he would call him Ya Abyada. That, oh, white one, come to me, come towards me. And there was an occasion where there was severe drought in Makkah al-Mukarramah, and the people from Makkah, they came to him and said that, you're from the progeny of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, from the progeny of Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. We don't have rain. We've done everything we're supposed to have done. And we're asking you to make dua. So he came, and he took Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam by the hand, aged approximately 9 years. He held him by the hand and they walked towards the Holy Kaaba. And then he placed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with his blessed back against the wall of the Kaaba. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam standing now against the Holy Kaaba. And as Abdul Muttalib says, that, oh Allah, by virtue of the bright, white, shining face of this little child, we are asking for rain. And immediately the people of Makkah were favored by rain because they were asked of this rain by virtue of the bright, white face of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And in his poetry also he writes, وَأَبْيَضُ يَسْتَسْقَى الْغَمَامُ بِوَجْهِهِ سِبَابُ الْيَتَامَى إِسْمَةٌ لِلْأَرَامِلِ. Even the clouds would gather by virtue of the face of this nephew of mine, grandson of mine, and he is the one to assist orphans, and he will be known. Again, Sayyidi Al-Azim states, जिससे तारीख दिल जगमगाने लगे, जिससे तारीख दिल जगमगाने लगे, उस चमक वाली रंगत पे लाखों सलाम. That the brightness, the shine of the color of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, us chamak wali rangat pe lakhon salam. So Abu Tufail radiallahu ta'ala mentioned 3 words, abyada, white, but not just white, bright white, with a glaze or natural shine. Malihan is here the actual answer comes in to what the answer was being looked for by Shaykh Abdul Rahim Muhaddis Delhi rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, and he says here that Malihan, the saltish beauty, is that not only a person is awestruck by the beauty, but such a beauty which encapsulates its viewer. And when the beauty is no longer before that person, in other words, having made contact, having looked at the person, and having taken in that beauty, and when that beauty is no longer there, the person remains engrossed in the beauty that he has seen. Husn khata hai jiske namak ki qasam. Husn, beauty, khata hai jiski namak ki qasam, wo mali hai dilara hamara nabi. Zikr sab theek hai, jab tak na mazkur ho, namkeen husn wala hamara nabi. Muqassada means a perfect balance. perfect balance. Doesn't matter what you look at. If you look at the eyebrows, you look at the nose, you look at the ears, you look at the beard, and there isn't a biography ever to give us description of this nature that Muhaddithin have recorded that the blessed hair of Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam had 17 strands of white hair. And maximum is taken as 22. So between 17 and 22 strands of white hair means this is the detail that we have. So muqassada means absolutely perfect, balanced in all proportions. Proportionate in every way, meaning the head is not too large, neither too small. From head to toe in the most perfect balance, meaning that neither was the chest out, nor was the belly protruding, nor were the ears longer than the symmetries of the face. The beard complemented the face complemented the beard Mubarak of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The height was most appropriate. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's height was most appropriate. Not too tall, neither too short. We can't even say of medium height. Because if Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam walked amongst a crowd of 10,000 people, and when he would walk in that crowd, everyone would be able to see Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. For Allah had given this as a miracle to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that his shoulders would automatically be seen as though it is above everyone else's shoulders, and they would see the face Mubarak of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, I think we can leave balance of discussion for the next 2 nights, inshallah. Then we'll discuss the difference between the saltish and the sweet beauty, and then we'll go on, inshallah, hoping to touch on the aspects. My preference would be to start with the feet Mubarak of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then come up that is my own preference. But inshallah, tomorrow at some stage in our discussion, we will start with the description as we find in Ahadith and the Shama'il Sharif, of Tirmidhi, inshallah. We will discuss that also, and we will see how Sahaba or Sahabiyat related with even the beauty of the blessed feet of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inshallah, tomorrow we will start from there, and then we will go on, tomorrow night. And inshallah, the following night as well, the 3 nights that have been allocated to me. The topic is the same, so we're going to pause our topic here, and inshallah, tomorrow night we will continue from here. It's already, I think I've spoken for an hour already. Jazakallah for a pleasant audience. May Allah reward you. Allah give us all barakah, inshallah, as we discuss the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ya Nabi, salam alayka. Ya Rasul, salam alayka. Ya Nabi, salam alayka. Salamatullah alayka. Abka tashrif lana. Waqt bhi kitna
الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم أرنا حقائق الأشياء كما هي توفنا مسلمين وألحقنا بالصالحين وارفع عنا شر الظالمين وأشركنا في دعاء المؤمنين ونبهنا عن نومة الغافلين وارزقنا شفاعة سيد المرسلين وأدخلنا الجنة بسلام آمنين وخلصنا من النار يا مجير يا مجير يا مجير. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمته.